My dear friend, life is a journey of relationships. Some come, some go, and some remain like an unshaken tree in the storms of time. We often mistake pain for a signal to walk away, but sometimes pain is a lesson, not a farewell. When we are torn between holding on and letting go, how do we know what the divine is whispering to us? Perhaps it is not always about moving forward. Sometimes it is about staying still, allowing love to take root in a deeper way. There are moments when the universe nudges us, telling us that this person is meant to be in our lives despite the difficulties. Here are 6 signs that you are not meant to move on just yet. If letting go brings more restlessness than peace, it may not be time to move on. When we think of moving on from someone, we assume it will bring us relief, a sense of closure and the ability to start anew. But what if, instead of relief, you are left with an unbearable emptiness? What if, instead of peace, you feel lost, as though a part of you is missing? True endings, no matter how painful, bring a sense of completion. If walking away only deepens your inner turmoil, it may be a sign that you are not meant to move on, at least not yet. There is a common misconception that pain is a sign to let go, but pain in many cases is simply an indication of transformation. If you feel restless after parting ways with someone, it could mean that the connection still holds something vital for your soul's journey. Perhaps there are lessons left to be learned, unresolved emotions to be understood, or a deeper level of connection that has yet to unfold. The heart does not lie when it continues to ache even after separation. It is often because something essential remains unfinished. Another important aspect to consider is the difference between momentary grief and ongoing unrest. Feeling sad after a breakup is natural, but if the sorrow lingers in a way that disrupts your sense of self, it may indicate that this person is still meant to be a part of your life. If every attempt to move forward feels like you are forcing yourself into an unnatural state of detachment, you must ask yourself whether your heart is truly ready to let go. The soul has its own timing, and forcing an ending before its time can create more suffering than healing. Restlessness also manifests in unexpected ways. You might find yourself constantly looking for distractions, diving into work, relationships, or activities just to escape the emptiness inside. No matter how much you try to suppress it, the feeling keeps resurfacing, reminding you that something remains unresolved. This is because when a connection is deeply significant, it does not simply disappear, it leaves an imprint on your soul. If you feel a persistent internal conflict, it is worth exploring whether you are truly meant to move on or if you are running from something that still needs to be faced. Ultimately, if letting go brings only restlessness instead of peace, it is an invitation to pause and reflect. Are you walking away because it is truly over, or because you are afraid of the challenges that come with staying? Not all struggles mean an ending. Sometimes they are the tests that strengthen what is meant to last. Before forcing yourself to move on, listen to your heart. Because when something is truly meant to be, peace will never come from leaving it behind. A deep, unexplainable connection suggests divine involvement. There are some connections in life that cannot be explained by logic or reason. You meet someone, and instantly there is a familiarity as if you have known them long before this lifetime. This connection goes beyond physical attraction or shared interests. It feels like something deeper, something spiritual. No matter how much time passes or how much distance comes between you, the bond remains intact. It is as if the universe itself has woven your souls together in a way that cannot be undone. When such a connection exists, it is not something to be ignored or dismissed lightly. Many people try to rationalize these feelings, convincing themselves that they are simply attached or overtly emotional. But certain connections defy all explanations, leaving an undeniable presence in your life. Even when you try to walk away, you feel drawn back as if an unseen force is guiding you toward this person again and again. It is not just about love. It is about purpose, about something greater than yourself. Some relationships are placed in our path by divine will, meant to shape us, teach us, and help us grow in ways we cannot yet comprehend. This type of bond often brings an overwhelming sense of recognition. You see them, and in their eyes you see something beyond their physical presence. You see home, familiarity, and a connection that transcends words. It is not about how long you have known them, it is about how deeply they affect your being. You might finish each other's sentences, sense their emotions from miles away, or dream about them without explanation. These are not coincidences but signs that something greater is at play. When you feel connected to someone on such a profound level, it is often because your souls have an unspoken agreement, a journey to complete together. Yet this kind of connection is not always easy. In fact, it can be one of the most challenging experiences of your life. The universe does not bring these people into our lives for simple comfort. They come to awaken us, to break us open, and to reveal parts of ourselves we never knew existed. The intensity of such a relationship can be overwhelming, making you question everything you thought you knew about love, attachment, and destiny. But no matter how much you try to resist or push them away, the bond persists, proving that it is not merely a fleeting attraction, but something deeply spiritual in nature. When a connection feels beyond your control, when it persists despite all efforts to move on, it is worth considering that this is not just an ordinary relationship. There are moments in life when the divine intervenes, bringing people together not for convenience but for transformation. If you feel this unshakable pull towards someone despite all logic, then perhaps their presence in your life is part of a bigger plan, one that is not meant to be abandoned too soon. Repeated reunions hint at an unfinished journey together. There are some people we try to leave behind, yet life keeps bringing them back in unexpected ways. No matter how much time has passed or how many miles separate you, they reappear, as if the universe itself refuses to let the connection fade. This is not just coincidence, it is a sign that your journey together is not yet complete. When a relationship keeps finding its way back, despite all attempts to move on, it may be because there is still something important that needs to unfold. Sometimes we part ways with people due to misunderstandings, personal growth, or circumstances beyond our control. Yet, even after the separation, we continue to cross paths, receive messages, or hear about them in ways that feel too significant to ignore. It is as if the universe is orchestrating moments to remind us that this connection is not meant to be forgotten. These repeated reunions, whether physical or through signs, are gentle nudges from something greater urging us to pay attention. They suggest that there is still a lesson to be learnt, a chapter to be written, or a deeper understanding to be reached. There are times when people come back into our lives at precisely the right moment, often when we least expect it. Perhaps we are at a turning point, feeling lost or struggling with a major life decision, then suddenly they reappear, as if their presence holds a missing piece of our journey. This is not random, it is divine timing. These encounters serve as reminders that our connection with them is not bound by time or circumstance, but by something far greater. It is as if the universe is giving us another opportunity to explore what was left unfinished, to mend what was broken, or to embrace what we once resisted. Some connections are too strong to be severed, no matter how much we try. Even if we move forward, start new relationships or build different lives, there is an unexplainable force that keeps pulling us back together. This is not about obsession or longing, it is about destiny. When two souls are meant to walk a path together, no amount of separation can truly keep them apart. You may find yourself reuniting in different seasons of life, each time with a new perspective, yet the connection remains unchanged. This is a sign that your story is not over, that there is more to be experienced, understood, or built together. When life continuously places someone back into your path, it is worth asking why. Are they returning to remind you of something important? Are they still part of your journey in ways you cannot yet see? Instead of dismissing these encounters as chance, consider the possibility that they are signs of divine orchestration. Sometimes we are not meant to move on just yet. Sometimes we are meant to recognize that love, growth, and destiny work in ways beyond human understanding. Your growth is intertwined with theirs. There are certain people who enter our lives not just to share moments with us, but to shape us in ways we never expected. Their presence challenges us. Their words stay with us long after they are spoken, and their influence pushes us toward growth. If you find that your personal transformation is deeply connected to someone else, it is a sign that their role in your life is not yet over. Sometimes we are not just meant to love someone, we are meant to evolve alongside them, learning lessons that only they can teach us. Growth in a relationship does not always come in easy or pleasant ways. Sometimes it comes through conflict, separation, and challenges that test our patience and resilience. The people who have the most profound impact on us are often the ones who trigger deep emotional reactions within us. This is because they hold up a mirror, reflecting back our insecurities, fears, and unresolved wounds. If you notice that this person consistently brings out both your struggles and your strengths, it may not be a sign to walk away, but a sign to pay attention. Not all relationships are meant to be effortless. Some are meant to refine us. True personal growth does not come from comfort but from challenge. If being with someone forces you to face parts of yourself that you would rather avoid, it is not a sign of toxicity, it is a sign of transformation. When two people's journeys are deeply connected, they become catalysts for each other's evolution. They help each other break old patterns, overcome fears, and step into their true potential. If you can look back and see that this person has played a crucial role in your growth, it is worth considering whether their presence in your life is still necessary for your next stage of evolution. Another sign that your growth is intertwined with theirs is when your life paths seem to run parallel, even when you are apart. You might find that you experience similar struggles, achieve milestones around the same time, or cross paths again when you are both in moments of transformation. This is not mere coincidence, it is a sign that your souls are walking similar journeys. Even if you have spent time apart, you may realize that the lessons you have learned are deeply connected to what they have been going through as well. This mutual growth is often an indication that your connection serves a higher purpose. If someone continuously inspires you to become a better version of yourself, if they challenge you in ways that ultimately lead to your development, and if your journey feels incomplete without them, then perhaps this is a relationship that is not meant to be left behind. Some people are meant to walk with us for a reason greater than love alone. They are meant to help us evolve into who we are destined to become. Life has a mysterious way of guiding us, often through signs and synchronicities that defy logic. When you are trying to move on from someone, yet the universe keeps presenting reminders of them in ways you cannot ignore, it may be a sign that your connection is not meant to be severed. These signs can come in many forms: seeing their name repeatedly, hearing a song that reminds you of them at significant moments, or even encountering symbols that hold personal meaning. When these synchronicities happen too often to be dismissed as mere coincidence, it is worth paying attention. The universe does not speak with words, but it speaks through patterns. And if the pattern leads you back to this person, there may be a reason. One of the most common synchronicities people experience is repeatedly thinking about someone just before they appear in their lives again. Perhaps you have not spoken to them in months or even years, yet suddenly they pop into your thoughts with an unusual intensity, only for them to reach out or for you to randomly cross paths. This kind of energetic connection suggests that your souls are still linked in a profound way. It is as if the universe is orchestrating opportunities for your connection to be rekindled, even when you have tried to move on. Dreams are another powerful way in which signs manifest. If you keep dreaming about someone, especially in meaningful or emotionally intense ways, it could be a sign that your subconscious mind is trying to communicate something to you. Dreams often reveal truths that our waking mind tries to suppress. If you find yourself dreaming of conversations with them, moments of reconciliation, or reliving past memories with strong emotions, it may indicate unresolved feelings or an unbroken spiritual bond. Sometimes dreams act as a bridge between two souls, showing us what our rational mind refuses to accept. Beyond personal experiences, the external world also provides clues. You may overhear strangers talking about something specific to your connection, come across a book or a movie that mirrors your situation, or feel an unshakable sense of déjà vu when something reminds you of them. These are not random events. They are gentle nudges from the universe. When you continuously receive reminders of someone in unexpected ways, it is often a sign that their presence in your life is not meant to fade away. The more you try to escape these signs, the more persistently they appear, as if the universe is insisting that you acknowledge them. It is easy to dismiss synchronicities as wishful thinking, but when they happen frequently and with undeniable meaning, they should not be ignored. The universe operates in alignment with divine timing, guiding us toward what is truly meant for us. If you keep receiving signs that point back to a certain person, it may not be a coincidence. It may be confirmation that your story with them is far from over. Love is not always easy. It is not always smooth, nor does it always follow the path we expect. There are times when love is tested, strained by misunderstandings, distance, or circumstances beyond our control. But one of the clearest signs that you are not meant to move on from someone is when, despite all the pain, the love remains. If you can still feel the warmth beneath the hurt, if the core of your connection is still love and not resentment, then perhaps your story is not yet over. Love that withstands hardship is not weak. It is love that has been refined, tested, and made stronger through struggle. Many people assume that pain is a sign to let go, that if a relationship has brought heartbreak, it must mean it is not meant to be. But pain, in many cases, is a natural part of deep connections. It arises when something matters, when emotions run deep, and when the soul is being stretched toward growth. Love does not mean the absence of pain. It means choosing to see beyond the pain, to recognize that what you share is still meaningful despite the difficulties. If after all the hurt you still find yourself caring for this person, wishing them well, or longing for their presence, then love is still alive. Another way to recognize that love persists is in the way you think about this person. Do you find yourself reminiscing about the good times more than dwelling on the bad? Do you smile when you remember the way they made you feel, even if things did not end well? When anger and heartbreak fade, what remains is the truth of how we felt. If your heart still holds on to the love rather than being consumed by bitterness, it is a sign that the bond was real and that its story may not be finished. Some connections are not meant to be erased by time. They continue to live within us, waiting for the right moment to be understood fully. Love that exists beyond pain is also evident in the way you continue to support each other. Even from a distance, perhaps you no longer speak every day, perhaps circumstances have created space between you, but if you still wish for their happiness, still feel a silent connection, and still sense their presence in your life in unexplainable ways, then your souls remain intertwined. Love does not always need proximity to survive. Sometimes it thrives in quiet understanding, in unspoken prayers, and in the feeling that no matter what happens, this person will always hold a place in your heart. Some relationships go through phases of separation only to find their way back when both people have healed, grown, and are ready for a deeper connection. If love still lingers, even after pain, then maybe it is not meant to be abandoned but embraced in a new way. The presence of love is a powerful sign that something real still exists, that despite the hardships, the foundation of your connection is strong. If love remains after everything, then perhaps it is not the end. Perhaps it is just a pause before something greater. There are times when moving on feels like the only logical choice. You tell yourself it is over, that you should focus on the future, that new opportunities await. You try to distract yourself with work, hobbies, or even new relationships. Yet nothing truly fills the void left behind. No matter how much you convince yourself that it is time to let go, something deep inside refuses to comply. Your heart, despite all reasoning, still holds on to this person as if it knows something your mind does not. When every attempt to move forward feels forced, it may be a sign that you are not meant to walk away just yet. True healing comes with acceptance, but if thoughts of this person continue to surface, it suggests that their presence in your life is not something you can simply erase. You might feel an unexplained sadness, a sense of incompleteness, or even an unshakable longing that lingers no matter how much time passes. This is not just nostalgia, it is your soul telling you that something remains unresolved. If moving on feels more like suppressing than healing, then perhaps your journey with this person is not truly over. It is common to mistake the difficulty of moving on as mere emotional attachment. But sometimes, the inability to let go is a sign of unfinished destiny. You might find yourself comparing every new experience, every new relationship, and every new moment to what you once shared with them. Even in the presence of someone new, their absence still feels stronger. This is because not all connections are replaceable. Some are deeply ingrained in your being, woven into your path in a way that cannot be undone by time or distance. When your heart still longs for someone despite all attempts to move forward, it is worth considering that their role in your life is not yet complete. The struggle to move on often manifests in unexpected ways. You may find yourself drawn to places, songs, or situations that remind you of them. You might even catch yourself waiting for their return, even if you do not consciously acknowledge it. It is as if your heart is holding space for them, refusing to close the door completely. This resistance is not weakness. It is an indication that what you shared was significant. The more you force yourself to forget, the more your soul seems to remind you. Instead of treating this as a failure to move on, consider that it may be an invitation to reflect on what this connection truly means. When love is genuine and deeply rooted, it does not simply disappear because we tell it to. The heart knows what it wants, even when the mind tries to convince it otherwise. If every effort to move on feels unnatural, if every new beginning feels incomplete, then perhaps you are not meant to close this chapter yet. Some connections are written into our fate, and no matter how much we try to walk away, our hearts will always guide us back to where we truly belong. There are some relationships that end with clarity, where both people know it was the right decision to part ways. But then, there are those relationships that leave behind a lingering feeling, a quiet whisper in the soul that something is still unfinished. You may have said your goodbyes, you may have tried to move forward, but deep inside there is an unshakable sense that your story with this person is not truly over. This feeling is not just emotional attachment, it is something deeper, something that keeps resurfacing no matter how much time passes. When a connection feels unresolved, it is often a sign that there is more to be experienced, understood, or healed between you. This sense of unfinished business can manifest in many ways. You might find yourself constantly wondering, what if? What if circumstances had been different? What if you had tried harder? What if there is still a chance for things to change? These questions do not come from nowhere. They are signs that a part of you is still seeking closure or completion. Sometimes the heart knows what the mind refuses to accept, that this connection was not meant to end so soon. Even if you have tried to convince yourself that it is over, a part of your soul holds on to the possibility that there is still more to be written in this story. Another indication of unfinished business is when emotions connected to this person remain intense even after a long time apart. If their name still stirs something deep within you, whether it be longing, sadness, or even unresolved love, then it is a sign that something within this connection has not been fully processed. True closure comes when we can think about someone with peace, but if their memory still brings a rush of emotion, then the chapter is not truly closed. Sometimes, we try to move on before we have fully learned the lessons we were meant to learn, and the universe keeps bringing the connection back into our thoughts until we finally face what needs to be acknowledged. Many people believe that time heals all wounds, but some connections are beyond time. You may have tried to focus on yourself, to create a life that no longer includes them, but no matter what you do, there is still an invisible thread pulling you back to this person. It is not just nostalgia, it is an energetic bond that refuses to be broken. This is because certain relationships are meant to complete something important, and when they end prematurely, the soul feels the weight of what has been left undone. Even if you do not know exactly what needs to happen, the mere feeling that something remains unfinished is a sign that your story with this person is not yet over. When we feel a deep sense of incompletion, it is not always about rekindling the past in the same way. Sometimes it is about healing, about gaining clarity, or about finding a deeper level of understanding with this person. The universe does not give us these feelings without reason. There is always something to be gained, whether it is love, growth, or wisdom. If you find yourself unable to truly close this chapter despite all efforts, then perhaps there is still something waiting to unfold between you and this person, something that has yet to be fulfilled.